Hello, this is Red Pill Life. I'm your host, Brad, and this is the first episode on this channel. So I'd like to go into the topic of the Red Pill news that I'm going to give you is the French vegan fest off the menu amid fears of butcher's revenge. So that's pretty interesting type of headline there. This is coming from the Telegraph, August 25th, 2018. So when I read through this article, I'm going to summarize it first and then I'll give some commentary, I guess. So apparently in this small French port city of Calais, if I'm saying this correctly, there's been a spat between vegans and butchers slash hunters. So I guess this is unverified, but apparently there's been some militant vegans that have been going around to butcher shops and busting windows out, creating like disturbances to the point where I guess the owners of the butcher shops are calling for increase in police protection. So that is pretty interesting within itself. So the only thing I can conclude from that is perhaps there's a bunch of vegans there and they're trying to take over, or are we talking about maybe some other type of violence that was done upon them and they're just blaming vegans? We really don't know any of those particulars. But anyway, apparently that is the official version is the vegans are attacking the butcher shops in this port city. And so in protest of, I guess, the militant vegans coming and destroying their shops, they gave specific threats that if vegans have their festival, they were going to attack them. I find that really hard to believe, first of all, that they would attack them. And then it also goes further in this article, it goes into detail that if they have their festival, then they're going to have a barbecue cookout. So it just doesn't make any sense. So it's either, the butcher shop owners are going to attack the vegans if they have a festival, or they're going to have their own fest, which is fine. If they want to have their counter festival and be silly like that, then fine, go ahead and do it. But just something doesn't feel right here. So what ended up happening was the government just shut it down because they were, fear of violence and civil disobedience, which doesn't make any sense. If the vegans are going to have their own festival, they're not going to turn it into like an Antifa friggin' rally. They're going to talk about it. In my situation, generally speaking, where I've been to, vegan fests, they just promote the non-consumption of meat and dairy products. They bring awareness to the conditions of the animals before slaughter, and as well as the health consequences of eating a vegan diet versus a meat-eating diet. Now, what's very disturbing is they, in this article at least, and I guess in this town, they label vegans as like completely militant scumbags, like some communist wings or something. So that's pretty dangerous because vegans, there's a bunch of different vegans, just like there's a bunch of different meat eaters. There's not really like one vegan group. There's a whole bunch of groups that identify as vegan. There's people that just eat vegan, but they're completely normal, as meat eaters would. It's just a dietary choice. Sometimes people do it for ethical reasons because they don't want to, contribute to, the cruelty of killing an animal. So I really think this article is more. I think all these parties, need to come together. There needs to be, some type of dialogue. But to shut a group of people down just because of threats of fear, that's just, that just tells me it's a limit of free speech. the vegans, their ideas might not be popular, but that's the type of ideas that you need to protect. So if you label this the gay festival, and then you had a bunch of conservatives coming out there threatening violence, first of all, if you threaten violence and you're going to say that you're going to cause trouble and you're going to attack, these people, well, the police need to deal with that directly. As well as if there's vegans that are, breaking stuff, that needs to be dealt with accordingly. Now, could there be other type of people starting shit between the two groups? Of course. So I don't just, believe point blank range, that vegans, go in these butcher shops and breaking windows and going nuts. Perhaps it's true, but I'm sure it's probably only a handful if it is, and they need to be dealt with. But, to paint all vegans as militants and to shut down their, freedom of speech of, having their rally. Not a rally. It's not even a rally. It's a festival, with food and stuff. And I just think it's bullshit. So anyway, this is another example of government making a wrong choice in the moment. And it's really, a shame. As well as, meat eating in general is just really, everybody that I know that consumes a lot of meat, they have a lot of health problems. And honestly, the way they treat the animals before slaughter is deplorable. And it's, why do you have to get your nutrients through another animal's flesh? Why don't you just get the nutrients, right from the source? Yes, I understand, that you can't go out there and eat a bunch of grass and, get all the nutrients, that your body requires, but there's definitely cleaner, better ways and healthier ways of doing it. So anyway, I hope you liked this video. Please subscribe to my new channel, and thank you very much, and stay tuned.